most people think that confidence comes from the mind, body, and spirit. Actually, that's it's how we function as human beings, and it's really the the psychology of how we see ourselves, how we see others, and how we see the world. So really, truly, it should be the mind, the spirit, body, and then result. Because the mind is basically what we're thinking, right? Hopefully you can get to see this. And then our spirit is what we feel, and the body is what we do or act, and then what we have, what we our results are what we have and do. Hopefully you get to see my face shifting. I'll just stop maybe. I wanted to write it down, but it was just like, no, let's roll. Let's talk about this. So the mind, spirit, body, results. Technically how we function because of our psychology of how we see ourselves. Am I good enough? Am I capable? Do I, all those things, what we're thinking has a knock-on effect on how we are feeling. What's that emotional connection, pessimistic? Are we optimistic? Like, are we like, we convicted? Are like, what's that feeling we have when those thoughts start happening for us? And then from those thoughts, we start having like how we act, how we feeling, what we doing, what's going on for us, what are all those things that are happening, and then a knock-on result is like what tends to show up for us. So how does this look like when we go and do, say, you go in for a booking? Say for instance, let's start with like, so maybe you have an exam. Let's choose like an Italian exam that you're about to do. You're about to do one of your exams that would help you get certified to become an interpreter. You're in Milan, everything's fresh. You go to your center, and then you go in there. You're thinking, "Oh my gosh, am I ready? Have I got all my vocabs ready? Do I know everything that I need to do?" That's what we're thinking. We're thinking if we've got everything in place, if we have the right vocab to say, if we have all this, you name it. That's what we're thinking. And then when we're thinking like that, what tends to happen? The spirit, we start feeling, oh, okay, anxious. We start like, okay, I don't know if, yeah, it's like getting an anxious feeling. And then with that anxious feeling, how we're feeling, what tends to happen? What tends to happen? We start getting sweaty hands. We start getting clamp, dry lips or mouth. And we start feeling in some ways, or like shaky. And because of that, when we're now doing the exam, the process, everything's going on, we stumble on words, we miss the thing, and then we don't get it because of what we're thinking and how we were feeling. And then from how we're feeling, what our bodies were doing, and then the results to do that. So whereas if instead we can flip it to go in, okay, we are walking through the streets of Milan. We're about to go and do this exam. I am capable. I have done everything. I am prepped. And everything I need to is within. We're thinking that thoughts like, yes, we've got this. We've done all our preps. We've got all our things. And then we go there calmly convicted. We've got the conviction. And that's how we're feeling. We're feeling like, yes, we own this. We know what we're doing. It's like all in stakes. Things are flowing. Things are going. And then we start with the body. The body is like grounded. It's ready to go with the flow, with everything that's been like we know that would come, and we're prepared, whatever comes with us. And then we go through the exam and everything that we go through, yes, we did good. Waiting on the results, we're done. That's the connection. And when we start worrying, because we leak energy without us even knowing. So when we like thinking, my goodness, I'm not good enough, am I capable, am I worthy, then we start feeling the waves, and then we start doing the things that would then show that we're not worthy. We're not like doing a thing. Imagine, like, say for instance, like, how you hear people like at this bend, like when they're about to curve, like they're always hitting this pole. They're always hitting like the accident, the same pole, because that's the last thing they get to see. So because they're thinking about, oh, I don't want to hit this pole. I don't want to hit the pole. I don't want to like do whatever. And they start feeling like, oh, trying to avoid. And then what happens? Their body, their driving takes them to the pole, crash, accident. And when you ask them what happened, like, yeah, it's the last thing I was thinking is I didn't want to hit the pole. And because we didn't want to hit the pole, they start feeling like the feeling of getting them towards, and the action is like staring to hit the pole. It's all connected. It's how we function. It's what's going on innate in all of us. It's like when we are anchored in ourselves and we're repeating the things that we want, then the results start showing. So when you know that, okay, I like this is the thing that is like holding me back in the thoughts, in the in how I see myself doing this, or is it that am I ready or am I capable? Am I worthy? What is that thing for you? Because those things, when you start thinking that, you will then start feeling those things that will then start giving the actions and you start acting and start doing those thoughts and feeling to the results you get. So a way we can then start embodying and creating a whole new belief system, a whole new significant um, event for ourselves is by learning to know how we function. And a simple way we can use to do this is as I think, so I feel. As I feel, so I do. And as I do, so I have. Yes, the British Sign Language is different, but I wanted to do like a universal one. So it's like, as I think, so I feel. As I feel, so I do. As I do, so I have. That's the results. That's what's going on. When we can learn to know that, okay, and encode ourselves to know that whatever we are thinking is what was gonna we're gonna start feeling that way. And when we start feeling that way, we start acting and doing things in align to what we're feeling and doing, will the results start coming in. This is a way we can then start anchoring in the new sets of beliefs we want for ourselves, a new sets of how we want to show up, like really connecting to that, like the mind, the spirit, the body, and then the results. And simply put, how we're thinking, how we're feeling, what we're doing or acting, and then what we get to have. When we have all those things embodied, ingrained in us, do we then start seeing the tie-in, the results of the things we want for ourselves? So where like where is that thinking? What's that? What do you think when you're in front of like about to go and do the booking or in a new setting, a new environment, or like you're about to showcase yourself, you're about to put yourself, what are those thoughts you're having? We start from there. When we can figure out what those thoughts are, when we can really know, okay, this is what is holding me back, this is what I'm thinking about, how can we then flip that and change those thoughts? There's actually a tool that we can use to just take it off in an instant to start like reframing what it is that we're thinking so that we can then start changing how we're feeling and then feeling, because everything just connects. Once you know this, that the connection is there, then all you have to think is like the results I'm getting, what's the thoughts that come to me? What are those actions that I'm doing? And how am I feeling about those things? When you can then reverse engineer those things and take it back to the thoughts, what are the very thoughts I was thinking before I started like feeling this way and took this action, and now this is where I'm at. You can then work backwards and then figure, okay, when I'm in this situation, I need to refrain from how I'm thinking. I need to, this is like focus on what we want. Because a lot of the times when we always focus on what we don't want, and because of that we start thinking about, oh, I don't want to fail, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, and then we start having the feeling of not failing. And instead, where our thoughts go, our energy flows, we start attracting those feelings instead of focusing on like, this is what I want, I am capable, I've got this, I am ready, I am prepared, I know what I'm doing, I'm suitable, I've been trained for this, I'm capable. When we have those thoughts instead of, oh, what about if I mess up? What if this happens? What if this? Then we're thinking that. And when we're thinking that side, we're going to start getting the results that would lean towards that side. Instead, let's focus and lean towards the side we want. The side that's going to be empowering, the side that's going to bring us the results that we want, than focusing on the side that has nothing to do with the desires and the things that we know that are going to be supportive and help us to go better, faster. That's going to help us to really stand the time, start, stand the test of time. So next time those doubts creep in, those feeling of like, am I capable? Those feeling like, am I good enough or whatever it is? Because now we know it's what we're thinking that's going to shape that. So now we have the power. What we're thinking is going to shape how we're feeling, and those feelings are going to start taking the action, and those actions are going to like go with what we get. We get to decide and choose empowering, supportive things that would enable us to support us going better, faster. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification button so that you can get more identity shifts, tools that can help you in your journey, in your voyage to being the becoming the best version of yourself. Till next time. Bye for now.